Hello, welcome to this update for the severe weather in the U.S. and Canada. So let's see first in the U.S. we have now a slight risk in parts of Michigan and a marginal from Missouri to Pennsylvania and another marginal in parts of North Carolina, Virginia, South Carolina, and Georgia. So be careful there, especially in the slight. The wind threat is 15.5% for damaging winds in both the slight and the marginal. The hail threat is just 5% there from Missouri to Michigan. And the tornado threat is actually 2% in parts of Michigan, including Detroit. So be careful there. Let's see. Scary strong to severe thunderstorms are possible across east and lower Michigan this afternoon with damaging winds, the main threat. Isolated strong to severe storms may occur in parts of the Midwest, also across parts of the Carolinas, Virginia, and northeastern Georgia. So be careful there. Be aware there. Let's see. The HER shows. Let's see the storms there in North Carolina this afternoon, in the Midwest, in Missouri, Illinois, into Indiana, the storms there. Then it shows those storms in Michigan there. So, like, about this afternoon into this evening, going from Michigan to Ontario, and those other storms still in, like, North Carolina, and might affect South Carolina and Georgia a little bit earlier this afternoon, like northeastern Georgia there. And then there's all that moisture in the Gulf, a lot of storms there, and tropical moisture, but nothing severe, just moisture and storms and rain. But you never know, because some of those storms could cause some water spouts and lightning, so be aware. And let's see, and flooding, of course. So shows also some showers and storms in Arizona, New Mexico this afternoon, but nothing crazy, just some showers. And shows, let's see, yes, in the Midwest there, in Illinois, into Indiana and Missouri, so be careful there. For today, let's see. The significant tornado parameter, there's nothing crazy. Maybe a pace or two, but nothing crazy. Mainly like there in Michigan, southern Ontario, a scrape or two in parts of Indiana, Illinois, and North Carolina, but nothing crazy. Even the Gulf there, but nothing that concerning. There's just a 2% there in Michigan, so let's see. But like, let's see about zeros this Saturday, like later this afternoon into this evening. It does show like there a little bit darker there in Michigan, so be aware, but nothing crazy. So let's see. The updraft helicity shows like the probability of rotating updrafts indicates severe storms. Shows some in North Carolina, some there. A line or two in Illinois and Indiana, be aware there. Some things in the Gulf there from those storms, and a line or two in Arizona. But those storms won't be severe, they'll be just like thunderstorms. But it shows more in Michigan there, going to southern Ontario, so be aware there, some more severe storms. And let's see what else. So for tomorrow, this is today, tomorrow there's still a slight risk and a bigger one in much of the mid-Atlantic, northeast, especially like Pennsylvania, interior New York, parts of West Virginia, Maryland, Washington, parts of Ohio, and other areas, so be careful there. A marginal again in Minnesota and Wisconsin, and UP of Michigan, and a marginal from Missouri to Vermont, so be aware there. In general, storms in the south. Tornado threat less than 2% tomorrow, but be aware, you never know. Wind threat 15.5%, hail just 5% in West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and Ohio, and even Kentucky. and New Jersey. So be aware there. Severe potential mainly in the form of damaging gusts is expected to across the northeast central Appalachians into the Tennessee Ohio valleys on Saturday. A few strong to severe gusts may occur in parts of the upper Mississippi Valley vicinity during the afternoon. So be aware as well. Day 3 is just a marginal from South Carolina to Maine, so probabilistic 5%, and general risk of storms in the south, so be careful there. Strong, isolated severe storms can produce gusty winds, damaging winds are possible in parts of New England to the Carolinas Sunday, so be aware there. Day 4 through 8, nothing. And fire threat is not critical today, nothing. And tomorrow there's just an isolated dry thunderstorm potential in parts of Nevada, Utah, and maybe northwestern Arizona, but mainly Nevada there in Utah. So be aware. And let's see. So stay safe there. And the rainfall shows the map today, tomorrow, and later. Precipitation shows still in the Gulf, in Texas, Louisiana today more through Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, more rain through southern Canada, more in the Bahamas and Florida, the storms, New Mexico, some Arizona, and the Northeast and North Carolina, Virginia, parts of the Mid-Atlantic, more rain. Day 2, more in the north, in the Gulf, a lot in Louisiana, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, more through those storms in the northeast, in Pennsylvania, New York, Vermont, Maine, New Hampshire especially, into Canada, and more in West Virginia, Kentucky, and other areas there. Day 3, more in Texas, Louisiana, some in Arkansas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, West Texas, Mexico, shows more in North Carolina, Virginia, through Tennessee, Kentucky, parts of Delaware, Florida, and some other areas. Day 4, Monday, more across Texas, especially interior Texas and the coast, and southern Oklahoma, New Mexico, Louisiana, more throughout North Carolina, South Carolina, and yeah. Day 5, Tuesday, more in Texas coast, interior Texas and Oklahoma, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, and South Carolina, and Georgia, generally across the south and northwest some. Day 6, more in the south, a lot through Texas, Florida, Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, South Carolina, Georgia, and other areas. Day 7, Thursday, September 5th, shows more across Florida, Louisiana, Texas, some New Mexico, Georgia, more North Carolina, South Carolina, Arkansas, Tennessee, some in the north there. So be aware. Day 1 through 7 shows a lot in the Gulf, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Florida, interior Texas and Mexico, New Mexico a lot, Oklahoma shows more along the south, the east, more in the northeast into Canada, and some on the west. So yeah, stay safe. Excessive rainfall is a slight in Texas and Louisiana coast, and a marginal from Texas to Alabama, and a marginal in parts of North Carolina, Virginia, and a marginal from New Mexico to New York. Be careful. Day 2, Saturday, another slight thing. In Louisiana, Texas, a marginal there too, a marginal Texas, New Mexico, and a marginal from Oklahoma to Maine. Day 3, Sunday, shows a marginal still Texas, Louisiana, marginal in New Mexico, Texas, marginal in the east, and be aware. Day 4, another marginal in the Carolinas, Georgia, New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, be careful. Day 5, another marginal in Oklahoma and Texas. So yeah, be aware. And let's see. The day 3 through 7 hazards shows some heavy rain in Texas and high winds in the plains. So be aware there. Day 4 through 8 shows some more above average rain in Alaska, heavy rain in the southeast, some excessive heat on the west, and rapid onset drought. So be aware. Let's see. No, here. The heat risk is still major in part of the Midwest, some moderate on the west and on the southeast, and some major even to North Carolina, so be careful. With the heat, Saturday, some more moderate heat risk in some areas of the southeast, northwest, southwest. Sunday, more major heat risk in Florida, in Washington, Oregon, Southern California, some areas. Monday, moderate heat risk on the southwest, on the north, on the south there in Texas, and the southeast, some major heat risk in Florida. Tuesday, more moderate to major heat risk in Florida, moderate in the northwest and southwest. Northwest, no, that's just north. Wednesday, sorry. More major heat risk across the southwest, some small areas of extreme, more major for California, some moderate in Oregon, and more major heat risk in Florida, and moderate in the south. Next Thursday, some more moderate major heat risk in Florida, moderate in Texas, Louisiana, and a lot more moderate and extreme heat risk throughout the southwest there. So be careful there. More major for Central California, moderate on the northwest. So be careful there. Maximum temperatures in the hundreds, 109 in the southwest, 90s for the California valleys, and 100 in southern Oregon, so 90s there. More 90s close to 100 in Ohio, Kentucky, many areas there. Tomorrow shows more 90s in the southeast, on the Great Plains, in Texas, on the west, lots of 90s, 100s, California, Oregon, Nevada, Arizona, 100s, so be careful there. Day 3, up to 111, Southern California, 101, 90s there, in Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Montana, more 90s on the southeast. And you see those dark areas in California, that's like Death Valley and some other areas. So those darker colors are way darker than that 111. So it might be like up to 115 or even more in those valleys. So be careful. And day 4, let's see, shows more 90s on the southwest, on the southeast, more 90s in the north and the northwest, still up to 108 on the southwest, California Valley. And let's see, day 5 shows more 109 on the southwest, 190s on the California valleys, 90s on the north, on the southeast, 70s in the northeast, even some 60s in Maine, some 80s, let's see, 90s in Texas. Day 6, next Wednesday, shows more 90s on the southeast, 90s and 80s in Texas, some isolated 90s on the plains, but some 80s, more 90s on the west, 100s in the California Valley, and up to 111 there in the southwest. Let's see, and day 7, next Thursday, shows more 80s in Florida, some low 90s, 90s in Texas, some areas, some 80s, 90s on the west, 100s in California Valley, and up to 112 in the southwest, and those darker valleys there could be up to 115 or 120 in that valley there. So be careful there. And let's see. The 24-hour max wind gusts for today, gusty in West Texas and Arizona, gusty winds in the north as well, and with the storms of course, but it doesn't show up here, but be careful. Let's see, the hazards, some flood watches in Louisiana, Mississippi, New Mexico, air quality advisories, heat advisories in the northwest, some areas of Illinois, Missouri, West Virginia, Ohio, some heat advisories, special air quality, and some special weather statements there, and hazardous weather outlook for hot weather continues, so be aware there. And let's see, in Canada it shows today some minor storms in Alberta, northern Saskatchewan, parts of Manitoba. Let's see, tomorrow they still don't have anything. Northwestern Territory, some storms with some wind, rain, and small hail. British Columbia, some rain in Yukon, and nothing big in the south there. Let's see, Ontario, some minor storms in Western Ontario, Central Ontario, and those severe storms in Southern Ontario there, because I showed you Michigan before, and those listed tracks going to Southern Ontario could cause some more severe storms in there's southern Ontario in those areas, so please be careful. Let's see. Uh, tomorrow, no, tomorrow they still don't have anything. Quebec, some minor storms in western Quebec, Atlantic Canada, nothing crazy. But yeah, so be careful in Ontario there and stay safe. Let's see. The HER shows those storms going through Ontario there, continuing that big line of storms and rain through Ontario into western Quebec, so be careful in that line of storms too. But those storms that go from Michigan into the lake could come severe into southern Ontario. Late this evening, those severe storms going over southern Ontario, so be careful there. Some hail, gusty winds, and even a tornado or two. And that line moves into western Quebec there and continues tomorrow through the northeastern US and southeastern Canada. So be careful. Then later tomorrow, the HER shows a lot of showers and storms firing Manitoba and to Ontario there. So be aware. Let's see. So western Canada, there's some rain and some snow there. Mainly rain. Saturday, tomorrow, more rain through western Canada there. And then some small systems into Alberta and Saskatchewan, especially like Tuesday and Wednesday. Next Tuesday and Wednesday, a big system goes to central Canada, and a bigger system along the coast there with more rain. And central Canada shows that big system there now with the storms in Ontario, Hudson Bay, going to Quebec, and the storms tomorrow there, Manitoba and to Ontario, going to Quebec, and more small systems later there, especially by next week, by Wednesday and Thursday. And this is kind of weird because like this will be like September 5th and it shows like snow there. The European model showing like snow in some areas there. That's kind of crazy, but BR. Let's see. And the GFS has also that system there and some snow in southern Nunavut there. So be aware by September 5th or something. In Eastern Canada, let's see, there's the system now, the storms through Ontario, Quebec, then that bigger system by Sunday the 1st, more rain through Quebec, and then some showers later by Tuesday, some bigger systems in Hudson Bay, and more cold fronts in Quebec by Friday. So be aware there, and let's see. Let's see what they have here, but this always changes. They might have some severe watches later in southern Ontario, but now they just have some air quality advisories and statements in Ontario and Manitoba there because of the smoke and everything. In Alberta, too, some air quality advisories. Manitoba, Saskatchewan, so be aware there. Yukon, they have some special weather statements for wet, snowy patches, freezing rain expected, where Dempston Highway until this afternoon, reduced visibility and slippery surfaces, so be aware there, the storm surge warnings, and yeah, stay safe. And let's see some temperatures. Still shows warm in southern Ontario there, until 27, 29 degrees, some 20s in southern Saskatchewan, Manitoba. In other areas, a little bit cooler in Nunavut, 7, 9 degrees, 14 degrees, and already in northern Yukon, already 0 degrees. In Alaska, already -1, -2 there. Let's see, northern British Columbia, a little cooler, but southern British Columbia shows all the way to 28, not to 26 degrees. So let's see. And that heat wave from the western US continues to affect British Columbia into Sundays, all the way to 30 degrees, 29 degrees there. Even in Fort St. John, 25 degrees. Grant Prairie, 25 degrees by Sunday. And let's see. And this like next Sunday afternoon, it shows all the way up to 30 degrees in Alberta there, in Saskatchewan. let's see, warmer all the way to southern northwestern territories, uh, British Columbia there, hotter, and maybe a little bit warmer in Quebec and near New Brunswick, but yeah, and a little bit cooler in Ontario and Quebec there. So be aware. Bye. No, bye no. Let's see some wind gusts. So it shows still those strong winds today in Manitoba and Ontario. Very strong wind gusts moves into Hudson Bay and Quebec. Some very strong winds into Quebec there as the system goes. So be careful there tomorrow, especially Sunday in Quebec and to Monday. Then still show some very strong winds in Quebec into Labrador. Specifically in Labrador there, very strong gusts by Monday the 2nd in eastern Quebec, and then it goes out there. Then it shows still very gusty winds by August 5th in Manitoba, Hudson Bay and Ontario as that new system comes, and goes into Quebec there later by Friday the 6th. So yeah, we'll keep monitoring everything and stay safe.